gotta say, got a little bit of a different setup. So you guys are gonna have to go check out the YouTube, aren't you? Huh? Biggest thing is unfortunately, welcome to the HOT PASS podcast. We got a lot of new listeners. Shouts out to you guys. But unfortunately, if you're new, no Dale Sr. behind us currently. Go watch the other episodes. We had a great setup. There's been a lot going on. I'm going to break that down on the Monday episode just to fill in everything that's been going on in my life. We're not going to get into the sob stories today. We're going to get into it on Monday. All right? So welcome to the HOT PASS podcast. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. This is the place where we cash bags. This is the Friday morning betting show. This is where we talk about vintage, NASCAR, fucking apparel, and it's also throwback weekend. So this all comes in a full circle. And don't get it messed up. Don't get it mixed up that I've got a Kyle Larson hat on. It doesn't mean I'm a fan. Just a nice hat. All right? Because, he's a favorite every week, and he decides to just go and win and steal races. Kyle Busch can't handle the shit last week. We're going to dive into it, okay? I'm getting already off track, all over the place. You're already going to, if you're new, you're going to realize that this is a crazy mind. And if you're crazy too, we're all here together. And if you're just a normal person, I'm going to make you crazy. All up inside your ears or on your fucking computer when you're looking at my crazy ass face. So, this is the HOT PASS podcast, Friday morning betting show. Shouts out to you guys. We got trucks, Xfinity, and Cup, throwback weekend, all down in Darlington, South Carolina, at the Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame. And we're going to try and tame this damn track with some fucking bets and cash a huge bag, all right? I'm just trying to get the right area of where this mic should be, because everywhere, like the last place I had, it was all like the perfect setup. Just pop it all together. Good, boom, boom. If there's any audio issues, you guys just let me know and I'll figure it out. The setup in the background. It's going to change over the next couple of weeks. We're going to dive into that on Monday. So, all right. Make sure to like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast. HOT PASS Podcast on YouTube. All right, we're going to do the breakdown. HOT PASS Podcast on YouTube. At @FurlongEric_ on social media, whether it's X, TikTok, Instagram. Follow me there. In the link tree in the bio is follow me on there on the Action Network. That's where I place all my cup bets or any bet. And then the Trucks and Xfinity is exclusive to the Friday morning betting show every single week. All right. So let's dive right in to the business. Okay. So we've got a little bit of news to touch on first, and then we'll dive right in. All right. First off, who the fuck saw Michael McDowell signing with Spire to the 71? Now, I have some brief thoughts, and we'll dive into it maybe on Monday. You've already heard other podcasts talk about it. Interesting move. Now, I'm just saying in the fact that, Ford has been down. Michael McDowell's been with Ford for a long time. He's won with Front Row, and they just started on this trajectory to go up. And now he's switching over to Spire. That 71 car with Zane Smith has done fucking nothing. I think it's a good move by Spire to bring him on. I'm sure he got cashed an absolute bag to be able to move over to Spire. So now we're going to see where Zane Smith goes. I think he's going to go take over. I mean, there's a lot of hunches, but I think he's going to go take over Daniel Suarez's spot. I don't know what Daniel's contract looks like. And then we're going to have the mystery of silly season of where the fuck Daniel Suarez goes. But that's my early prediction. Congrats to Michael McDowell and Spire for getting a deal done for next year. Just wild. Also, Race Hub. I'm Canadian, if you guys didn't know, and we don't get FS1. You got to pay extra to get FS1, so I didn't grow up watching Race Hub. Barely been able to watch it over the last couple of years. Super getting into NASCAR and illegally streaming stuff. This is the only time I've actually been able to watch FS1 is by illegally streaming it. So Race Hub wasn't in my daily life. So I'm not, distraught about it all, but there's a lot of jobs gone. I don't Fox, the whole thing with Fox right now and how bad their broadcasts are on Sundays, how bad they are teetering on absolute dog shit on the truck series. My dream at this point is to be able to get in the broadcasting. My crazy mind, I have to cut out the F words, right? And the shits and the idiots and the dumb fucks, right? And the go to hells. But we could fix that. Just, we need, and now we have Dale Jr. going to TNT. I mean, there's just so much. They got to bring in some young bucks, personally, for Fox that have some enlightenment, some energy. You should have heard me with Kyle Larson and Chris Buescher battling it out, and here comes Martin Truex. And then we've got those guys on the broadcast going, and here they come. Oh my goodness, what a finish. Here they come. They are coming. They have crossed the line. Oh my God, who won? Who won? It should be, holy mother of fuck. Like that kind of reaction, dude. Not boring as shit. I mean, I'll give it credit. They made an absolute half-decent call at the end of that Kansas race because that race was insane. I mean, but, you know, race that's unfortunate. June 11th, I think, is when they're done. I mean, all right. Let's get over off of the sad news. Let's dive into trucks. This is a 1.5 mile track, Darlington, but it doesn't necessarily, we all know, if you're into NASCAR, it doesn't necessarily run like a regular 1.5 miles. Okay? So when it comes to this race, I've heard it plenty of times now. Experience plays a huge fucking factor in this, all right? So I'm just trying to find the lineup for the truck race here. Just love, that's not it. Truck race. All right. Okay. So we've got some different guys in this weekend. I'm not going to talk about the irrelevant ones, you know, Colby Howard, all those guys. We're going to talk about Kyle Busch being in the field. Wow, congratulations. Kyle Busch could go win this fucking race. Ross Chastain as well. And I'm going to spoil you now. I don't have anything on Kyle Busch, and I don't have anything on Ross Chastain. Okay, we're waiting until practice and qualifying. I think it'll be on Friday, so the time you guys are listening to this. And I just think that Ross he's not like a Kyle Busch. It's not like a must take to hedge your bets. Kyle Busch is just an absolute legend. And how many times have we seen Ross Chastain drive this 45 truck and it does nothing? So, I guess we'll find out how it goes on Friday night. Or is it Friday night? I think it's Friday at like 7 p.m. or something like that. So shouts out to you guys for already probably knowing this shit. Okay, so we've got our lines. I'm just going to pull up our lines here. And then I'll pull up what I've got for fucking bets, baby. It's called the Buckle Up South Carolina 200. God bless, brother. God bless. All right. So odds. Let me just scoot this little bad boy over. We're getting there. Just you all calm down and don't get your fucking panties in a wad. Okay. So we don't have much right now. I do like some of the odds. Okay, I do like some of the odds and some guys, but we're gonna wait to practice and qualifying, and then that's why you guys gotta follow me @Eric_ on X and Instagram, so you guys can get the last second, you know, the betting card. I usually post about an hour or half an hour before the race, so that's why you gotta be keen on it, quick on it, you know, hit that notification bell. So Kyle Busch I'm just gonna pull up. I have Bet365's lines up. Kyle Busch is a +150 favorite, well deserved, right? But Christian Eckes won this race with Cup drivers in it last year. And some guys really shined at the end of the race. And we already know that our bets could go up into motherfucking flames when it comes to the end of this race. Because I can tell you right now, I would be shocked if there's long green flag runs. There's going to be at least 7 fucking cautions, at least. And at the end of the race, it's going to jumble up the field. And it would be nice to have a couple long shots in there, all right? So we're going to talk about one. But the main matchup I really want to talk about real quick for you guys. So, we got Christian Eckes over Corey Heim. The only reason I'm taking this is because it's plus money. That's the only damn reason I'm taking it, all right? I think this line it's on Bet365. So let me just try and pull this up quick so I can get the other lines for you here, all right? Christian Eckes over Corey Heim. Corey Heim is -130. That's nuts. If I was to pull up real quick, okay, if I was to pull up real quick Corey Haim's record here, he's not the best. He's not the best. And Christian Eckes won here last year, okay? So, and led a fuck ton of laps, okay? So, I think Christian Eckes is a championship contender. We already know this. Corey Haim, championship contender. The one thing that Corey Haim has struggled a lot on is mile and a half. He's been there. He's been in the top 5. He's running around in the top 10 all the time. But like he's not always dominant and winning these races. Not like Kansas was an absolute domination, but all the Tricon trucks were good. But Christian Eckes wasn't never out of the play. He was top 3, top 5, like all day. I'm gonna take the plus money. I ain't paying no fucking juice on Corey Haim minus 130. You know, he did good for you guys if you listened to the podcast last week just to fucking take him. And I'm not gonna say like, you know, Corey Haim could easily go and win this race and beat us but it's gonna be a sweaty one. And if you've listened to this at all, this podcast, for a while, or even a week, you know I like the sweaty ones, all right? But here is Corey Haim's finishes here, all right? Now, he was in the 51 of the JBL, but then he went over to the number 11 and started having better finishes, right? But his best finish was last year, 8th. Where did Christian Eckes finish? Victory Lane, all right? So that cash. And then the last 2 races that he had, 2022, 2021, he finished both 23rd. Okay? That's Corey Haim's record here. I'm going to take the guy that's already fucking won Corey Haim's record. He's beat him Christian Eckes' record, beat him every single time. Won last year, finished 17th in 2022 in the 98 truck, and we know how that 98 truck is doing right now. Good God. To be honest, just remember this, guys. I'm going to jump over here real quick. I would take everything over Ty Majeski right now. I mean, at this point, you might as well. It's kind of a crazy thing to say, but even like a Ben Rhodes or a fucking Grant Enfinger over Ty Majeski, because that crew, the fact that Ty Majeski is engineering his shit right now, like his own truck right now, I don't trust his engineering. So anyways, bounce back. Christian Eckes, first in 2023, beat Corey Haim. 2022 finished 17th, still beat him. And then at 5th in 2020, which beat him as well. And that was in the 18. Christian Eckes is going to be a final 2. The fuck was on my hand? A spider or something? What the fuck was that? There's spiders down here, bro? You ever seen a spider up in the fucking house? There's nothing more terrifying than finding a spider in your house. And then you smack it off you and you don't know where it goes. There's nothing more terrifying because that bitch is coming back for you. ADHD, reel it back in, baby. All right. So it's 1,000%. Take the plus money. Christian Eckes is going to qualify well. Okay. Corey Haim here. Let me just double check where he's qualified. He qualified first last year, 5th and 13th over the last 3 races. Corey Haim hasn't always qualified the best at these mile and a half type of tracks. Okay. I would take the plus money while you can get it on Bet365 because I think it very well, if Christian Eckes qualifies well, and Haim decides to fall off like the Tricon trucks have notoriously this year have been terrible at qualifying, that line's going to switch, and now you're paying the juice on Christian Eckes and the guy that's also has finished better all 3 times here against Corey Haim. So plus 100, Christian Eckes over Corey Haim. That's the breakdown. Let's move over to the next one. We don't have much else. I was even looking. I think it was Grant Enfinger over Tyler Ankrum. That was one I was looking at, but I'm going to wait till qualifying because Grant Enfinger hasn't been the best at qualifying. He's been very inconsistent with that new number 9 truck that he's in. Tyler Ankrum has been pretty solid. If we get this matchup again after practice qualifying and Tyler Ankrum qualifies well, fade Tyler Ankrum. I'm not even going to bring up his resume here. It's been absolute dog shit. And Grant Enfinger, I understand he's in the 9. He used to be in the 23. That 23 was way better. They dissolved the team. Now he's in the 9. He's still like the old heads prevail here. And I understand that he might be in a little bit of chaos in the back. But if you can get plus money, do not pay the juice. They're both minus 115 either way. If this line comes back up after practice and qualifying on Friday, I'm going to tell you right now, take Grant Enfinger. Tyler Ankrum is a pay-to-play guy, and we've talked about it on this podcast a shit ton. Okay. So the top 5 that I'm taking, and it happened last year. God, I hope this is not too loud for you guys. I feel like this is extremely close to my fucking mouth. I'm just backing it off a little bit here for you boys. And the girls, the lassies. You know, I call them the lassies. Okay. So we also have Stuart Friesen, top 5. I got him at plus 600 on Bet365. He's hovering around, I think, like plus 500, plus 550, plus 600 is the best you're going to find on Bet365. Put 3/4 of a unit on it. I feel good about it, mainly because we're going to have a lot of cautions. I understand, and I called on Chris Worm's podcast or his live stream last Sunday while we were waiting for the rain out to end. I called him a fake Canadian, and I'm not apologizing. He's lived in Syracuse, New York for too long. I don't even know how often he even goes back to Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. So you're fake until you cash me money, and then you're back on the good books, and we're letting you back into Canada, all right? So Stuart Friesen, great throwback of a Jimmy Johnson paint scheme from years ago. He finished second here last year. His resume is a high and a low, but consistent. He's pretty consistent here. And with these continuous cautions coming out, if he can stay out of the chaos, which he hasn't been able to this year, if he can stay out of the chaos, he's a long shot. The dirt track guys, which that's where Stuart Friesen grew up on, the dirt track guys show up on these styles of tracks, and you're going to hear about it more when I come to the Cup Series. You have to take anything on dirt guys, okay? They're going to perform here very well. So Stuart Friesen, his performances here last year was second, 12th in 2022. 2021, he finished third, 25th in 21, which isn't great, but 8th in 2020. He's hovering around there. He's there. And at plus 600, if the chaos turns into our right direction, I think he can freaking be there. Plus 600. And he qualifies well here. So that plus 600, if he qualifies well, is going to get slashed in half. He's probably going to be like a plus 300. So we're trying to beat the books. That's the biggest thing, is beat the books. Plus 600 is a beautiful number. I like it. The old boys show up. He qualified 6th here last year. The worst he's ever qualified was in 2022. He qualified 23rd. But other than that, 21, he ended up qualifying 4th. And then it was a COVID year, so they came twice. Finished, started 7th in the spring 2021, and then 8th in 2020. So he very well could qualify. Good God, I'm dragging out the microphone. He very well could qualify inside the top 10, and that plus 600 is gone. So I like that. Stuart Friesen, plus 600, Bet365. And outright, I'm going to wait. Let's go through the outright numbers here real quick just before we jump over to Xfinity. So the outright numbers, I'm waiting on practice and qualifying. I think Christian Eckes could do it. Kyle Busch could come out and smoke the field, but it's the continuous cautions that could really jumble up this field. You got to think about good pits. If it is a long green flag run here, it's hard to get on pit road. So you got to think about guys. I don't think it's going to be a crazy long shot, but you also got to look at the guys that have good pit crews. I mean, Corey Hyman, Christian Eckes, Kyle Busch, they should be good on their pit crews. Who's been notoriously up and down this year? Ty Majeski's at 10-1. I wouldn't even fucking remotely take it. The Fords have been terrible. I'm going to stay away from the majority of the Fords. Nick Sanchez, maybe. I'm just looking at older heads, man, and it's hard to say. But I've got Stuart Friesen at 50-1 on DraftKings. He's hovering around 40-1, 45, 50-1 on a lot of books. Make sure you hunt around and find it. I'm just trying to beat the books. I just want to wait till practice and qualifying to see who's really got raw speed. Because like right now, I just don't see any other factors. I'm thinking about a Taylor Gray because his paint scheme, if you guys haven't seen it, go to Tricon Garage on social media, any sort of social media. Beautiful, beautiful. Ross Chastain at 9-1. If he's not notoriously the best at qualifying, he drifts out. We might even try and take him outright. Raja Karuth, he put down a lap last year and then ended up almost winning the race late, and then the cautions kept coming out. I just want to wait till practice and qualifying. I really think that this is going to be a very interesting top 10 for qualifying. It's going to be all over the place. So you might get some guys that drift out, like Corey Heim's 4-1, Christian Eck is 4.5-1, Ross Chastain 9-1, Majeski 10-1, Sanchez 12-1, Taylor Gray 14-1, Raja Cruz 16-1, Grant Enfinger, don't touch it, 22-1, Ankrum, Ben Rhodes, Stuart Friesen, like these long shot guys I think could be very well in play, but unfortunately, you've got Kyle Busch in the field. Just let you guys know if you can hear that upstairs. My family or whatever is watching a movie, so don't mind them. Just wait till practice and qualifying. I like the Stuart Friesen plays personally. I think he's going to be there. And if you guys know anybody that has like a dirt track, try and take a dirt track history kind of guy. But that's it. All right. Christian Eckes over Corey Heim plus 100 on Bet365. Stuart Friesen top 5 plus 600. And then Stuart Friesen outright 50-1. That is the plays for trucks. All right. Now, just remember, follow me at @FurlongEric_ on all social media platforms. All right, you motherfuckers? And if you don't, and then you don't hit the bets, then sad to be you, because that's the only place at @FurlongEric_ on social media is where I place my final cards for trucks and Xfinity. And we've been doing pretty good. So let's keep this fucking rolling. Cup Series, shockingly, this year has been my worst. I mean, Xfinity was kind of iffy, and then we hit the Sam Mayer bet at Texas, insane finish, and then trucks has been pretty steadily going slowly up. So trucks have, and Cup last year were my most profitable. Xfinity was terrible, and now Cup has been, just because of these late race cautions, have been fucking us. So, but don't get discouraged. We're here to make bags. All right. So let's go to the odds. The Crown Royal Purple Bag Project 200. Listen to that name. Shouts out Crown Royal. I hope you guys can't really hear too much of the TV upstairs, because that would really fucking suck. But if I keep talking, I'll drown it out, baby. All right, let's go. Let's dive in. I said it was the Crown Royal Purple Bag Project 200. I don't know what the fuck the project is. That's fucking odd. Somebody Google it and you guys let me know. William Byron's in this fucking race. Congratulations. You're not winning. It's going to be somebody else. William Byron, 2 3/4-1. Justin Allgaier, 3.5-1. Cole Custer, 6-1. Sheldon Creed, 8-1. Still not taking him until he proves something to me. Eric Almirola, 8-1. John Hunter Nemechek, 10-1. I saw him, 16-1. But don't forget, he's in Sam Hunt Racing Equipment. Yes, he's gotten a 4th in there a couple of years ago. He's gotten a 9th a couple of years ago in the Sam Hunt Racing when he was trying to work his way back up to get all the way back up to the Cup Series, from the truck, Xfinity, all the way up to Cup. So I don't recommend taking him. I've talked to Zach from Highline Betting. And we both agreed it's his pit crew. If it's a long green flag run, that pit crew is going to fuck him. Chandler Smith, 10-1. Austin Hill, 12-1. Sam Mayer, 16-1. AJ Allmendinger, 18-1. Riley Herbst, 20-1. Jesse Love. The main one I want to talk about on the long shot end, I'm just going to mention it now. Carson Kvapil, 35-1. You got to take a sprinkle at this point. This guy almost won at fucking Dover. We're going to jump back and go to our top 5s and then come back to outrights and explain. But I just want to say to you guys now, you have to have a sprinkle, a tiny little sprinkle on Carson Kvapil at 35-1. It's worth the bet. Almost winning at fucking Dover. What was it? Martinsville was his first race, and he finishes in the top 5. You got to take Carson Kvapil at some point now. It is a guaranteed every fucking time, and they're still disrespecting him on the books because it's so early on to him. So let's cash a bag on him. So let's jump to the top 5 market. All right. Now, I didn't go into deep depth of watching the previous races. I did watch last year's. The junior motorsports cars are okay. Carson Kvapil, though, has shown us that he can fucking drive up with the big dogs, drive clean, get through chaos, and finish a damn race. Carson Kvapil, 5-1. I think on Bet365, I think he's hovering around 3-1. Like 3.5-1 for a top 5 on most markets. He's fucking 5-1 on Bet365. Shouts out to Bet365. Hashtag not a sponsor. You got to take it at this point. 2 for 2 in his 2 fucking races. All right. I mean, and they were given a 6-1, 7-1, 5-1, whatever. He may not qualify the best, but if he has speed like he did at Dover in practice, his number got slashed down anyways because of the absolute raw speed that he had. He could start in the back, I feel like, at this point, and he's going to fly through and then be there at the end. Carson Kvapil, 5-1. I don't even need to say anymore. We don't have the stats, but obviously, in 2 starts, he's doing better than fucking Brandon Jones. And I love Brandon Jones, solid guy, but he's doing better than Brandon Jones, who's been driving in this series for so fucking long now. Sam Mayer led a shit ton of laps. Okay. How many laps did he lead last year? 35 laps. That's not a shit ton. Was it last year? What year was I watching? Oh yeah, because they come here twice. So it was last year in the spring. He led 35 laps. He ends up finishing 8th. Now I'm not gonna say this is guaranteed, but Sam Mayer plus 225 on DraftKings Sportsbook is the best line. He's been just so the beginning of the year sucked. But I saw the speed, and I called it at Texas, and I was hammering the 14 and 16-1. He's been consistently getting better and better and better. And the beginning of the year, the only reason he was having a bad year is he would qualify bad. He would get caught in a wreck with all the, as they say, the squirrels. You get your nuts cracked. La-di-da. Stupid fucking saying. All right. I don't know who came up with that fucking saying, but that is dumb as shit. You hang out in the back with the squirrels, you're going to get your nuts cracked. Weird. Come up with a better analogy. Now, I just have to say, like, Sam Mayer, when he's got a fast car and he avoids the carnage, he's top 5. He could be top 5 every week. I'm going to say at this point, he even might become the new Austin Hill bet top 5. Because Austin Hill has been very inconsistent now. I'm going to take the Sam Mayer train and ride it all the way home. Sam Mayer, plus 225, DraftKings. His finishes, he's qualified really well here. 5th, 4th, 12th, 7th, and 11th. So he's qualifying half decent. His finishes over the last 4 races, over 2023 and 2022, 11th, 8th, 11th, and 5th. So he's there, 5th. He's there at the end. He's finished every single race other than his debut and it was a number 8 Junior Motorsports car in 2021. He ended up failing his brakes and finishing 39th. So ever since then, he's been solid. Just there at the end. Chaos, calamity, and I think he's evolved as a driver. So Sam Mayer, plus 225 for a top 5. All right. I don't have any top 3s yet. I'm looking at an Austin Hill. I think he's 3.5-1 on DraftKings or whatever. Austin Hill's numbers here have gotten gradually better and better and better. So I don't like the 12-1. He's been very inconsistent with qualifying because of like Willie B or Allgaier or Cole Custer get the pole and he qualifies about 10th or a little bit longer. I mean, that 12-1 is going to drift out a wee little bit. And we know at this point, if you've been following the Xfinity series and been following the Hot Pass podcast, we all know, or any betting podcast, we know that for some reason they continue to disrespect Austin Hill. Now, I hate fucking Austin Hill. If you're new here, fuck Austin Hill. I used to be a Sheldon Creed fan. Fuck Sheldon Creed too. There was all this beef all the time. But Austin Hill, we all know, is notoriously a fucking douchebag. All right? As I like to say, douche canoe. Okay? So, but like he's there at the end. So top 3, and then he's since 2020 he started or finished 9th, 10th, 4th last year in the spring, 2nd in the fall. I mean, at this point you just have to keep taking him. I don't know where the fuck my brain was going. I don't even know if I took the right turn and then came back onto the main road here, but we're all over the place. We're in the back with squirrels and we're going to get our nuts cracked, guys. Fucking, I don't know who came up with that dumb shit. Anywho, let's go to the outright. So just take a note. Austin Hill qualifies bad, drifts out a little bit, take him for outright, take him for a top 3. Just seems to always be there at the end. We already know. Austin Hill, douchebag, but they disrespect him. That's where I was at before. AJ Allmendinger, 20-1. All right. AJ Allmendinger, 20-1 to win the race. Now, you may be going, Eric, hey man, I just want to let you know that Kala keeps saying that they're trophy hunting, but they haven't won shit. Well, AJ Allmendinger cashed us a huge bag at Texas, finishing top 5. Where AJ Allmendinger is usually good, he finishes good. And the last 2 races, it was back in 2022 was the last time he was. And I'm not saying Colleague is great or fantastic. Shut the fuck up if you think I'm being biased here. I'm a Chevy guy, but I am not sucking off Mr. Colleague himself. Okay. I'm not even the biggest fan of like AJ Allmendinger, but he qualifies well here. He finished 3rd here in 2022 in the fall race, 8th in 2022 in the spring race. And then the other races, we're not going to talk about it because it was absolute dog shit finishes. But he qualified well here the last couple of years, other than 19th in the fall of 2022. But he finished 3rd. 20-1 I feel like is just a good line. And if there's chaos, a late race caution. 20-1 where a guy that can just pop up out of nowhere and win a race. And we know the talent AJ Allmendinger has. I think personally, I'd like to see AJ Allmendinger win another race after dropping down from Cup. So 20-1 is a great line. It was just a half a unit, little spring, and then we'll see how good his car is, and then we'll place the betting card on Saturday for you guys before the race. And that's why you have to follow me at @FurlongEric_. Okay, Sam Mayer, 18-1. What did I say he was on Bet365? 16-1. We got him 18-1 on DraftKings. Hey, if you want to sponsor me, bro, I'll gladly bring up your lines. But if you're going to give me better lines on other books, I'm going to fucking take it. Because, you gotta. Sam Merritt, we talked about him for top 5. The kid he's gold, baby. Do I need to give a breakdown of how great Sam Merritt is? How nice of a fella he is? Now, maybe we have Justin Allgaier coming on the podcast in a little while. Maybe I'm a little biased to Junior Motorsports, but I just want to say Sam Mayer is a nice fellow. An 18-1, we hit the 16-1 and the 14-1 at Texas. Kept hammering it, hammered the top 3, hammered the top 5. We rode, as the NASCAR Gambling Podcast likes to say, the truck lift, and we cashed a huge fucking bag. So Sam Mayer, 18-1, he's qualified pretty well here over the last couple of years, as I said. And 18-1 won't be around. If it drifts out, congratulations. I didn't beat the market, but 18-1, beautiful. That is the card so far before practice and qualifying. I'm just going to double check for you guys I'm going to go to Bob Pockers' Twitter here, and I'm just going to double check of when practice qualifying is for Xfinity and trucks. So trucks practice and qualifying is 3:05 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And Xfinity practice and qualifying is 5:05 on Friday. So make sure you guys listen to this first thing in the morning and get your bets in, all right? So we got Carson Kvapil, top 5, 5-1 on Bet365. We got Sam Mayer, plus 225 for a top 5 as well on DraftKings. Think about an Austin Hill, plus 350 for a top 3. I don't usually always talk about the top 3 market. AJ Allmendinger, 20-1 outright, and Sam Mayer, 18-1 outright. Both available on DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay, let's go. This is the Cup Series. We haven't taken it outright yet, but I just want to make sure we deep dive into this podcast. We're about 35 minutes in. We're feeling real nice. I hope you guys are getting a beverage. You're not annoyed by me yet. And make sure to follow at @FurlongEric_. Now, make sure for the Cup bets, follow me on social media. Go to the link tree in the bio. Go to the Action Network. Follow me. I take a couple of bets earlier on in the week, and then when I take them, if you follow me and you have notifications on for the Action Network, not a sponsor, then you guys get the notifications of when I place a bet, and then you guys can jump over to that whatever sports book I place it on, and then take it as well. Okay, so that's at Furlong Eric _ Linktree in the bio over to the Action Network. So practice and qualifying. I don't have any qualifying bets, but practice and qualifying is at 10:35 Eastern on Saturday for the Cup Series. So let's dive right in, baby. Let's get over to the, the Goodyear 400. I love that. I should be wearing my Goodyear hat right now. Kyle Larson is once again the favorite, obviously. Denny Hamlin right there, both about 4-1. Truex is the guy I'm talking about this weekend, all right? Tyler Reddick, 7-1. Willie B, 8-1. Watch out for the Willie Bs. Christopher Bell. I mean, so you're going to see these dirt track guys showing up. C. Bell is now down to 10-1, and he has not had good weeks. So they know. They know how good he is here. Ross Chastain, 14-1. Hail to the nah. I love Ross. I'm a big Ross fan, but I am not touching him at 14-1. What have you done to make me bet on you at 14-1, Ross? I'm sorry, Ross. I love you. I would hug you. I would share a Busch Light beer. But I'm not. But it better be free because I'm not wasting my fucking money on this, dude. I can't. I have to save it to bet on other people. I apologize. We've got Kyle Busch, 16-1. Could possibly be a factor, but you can't trust him because he'll just randomly spin it at the end of the races and ruin your betting card. Chase Elliott, 16-1. Keep an eye on the boy. Brad Keselowski, 16-1. Ty Gibbs, 20-1. New Ryan Blaney, 22-1. Chris Buescher, 22-1. Bubba Wallace, 22-1. Logano. I mean, it keeps drifting out from there. Noah Gragson, I feel like at this point we have to talk about Noah Gragson. He's 40-1 to win the race on Bet365. Unbelievable. All right. So this is what I've taken. And I talked about early on when we first opened up the podcast. You got to take the dirt track guys that grew up on dirt tracks. And there's a couple of guys also that if there's late race cautions like we've had a lot recently and the jumbles up the field, Carson Hocevar was hovering about 6-1, 7-1, I think, on a lot of sports books for a top 10. I don't have the data, but Carson Hocevar just seems to drive in the mid-teens or the back teens, and then all of a sudden the late race caution gets jumbled up and he's there. Plus 1,000. Plus 1,000. He's been great here in the truck series. He's been, I think he ran 1 or 2 races in Xfinity and was pretty damn good. I think he finished top 10 as well. Carson Hocevar could just all of a sudden get there and then hit a plus 1,000. So 10-1 for a top 10. I like that. He could qualify in the mid-teens. He could even qualify about 20th. And I feel like this line will not be there. Like it'll drop down to a 7-1 or 6-1. Like I feel like it's mispriced because of all the other books. So plus 1,000. I'm going to double check at the time of recording this. Is this still available? Yep. Boom. Bet365 plus 1,000. The best line you're going to be able to find. All right. Now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We talk about streaky drivers, right? Other podcasts talk about it all the time. Guys that go on hot streaks, right? Chris Buescher's one of them. Chase Elliott seems to be one of them. Christopher Bell is also one of them. And Ricky Stenhouse recently has just all of a sudden popped up where he's just driving outside of the top 10 or driving in the top 10. And he's driven in the top 10 here. Dirt track drivers seem to find this high line. And I've seen Ricky Stenhouse in Alabama at the dirt track across the street from Talladega. And he loves riding that high line. And I think he's going to be able to find it. And some of these, he's able to hold it wide open, be able to ride the wall. He's going to be able to figure it out. And at 6-1 for a top 10, I feel like it's a great number. He's finished. I don't have his numbers up, but he's finished in like the mid-teens a couple of times. I think he's even had recently over the last couple of years, he finished 12th. If he's making it to the end of the race, I think he's made it every time. And he's notoriously known as Ricky Spinhouse. If he's made it to the end of the race every single time here, and there's a late race caution, he could all of a sudden pop up in there with some strategy. And be able to find the clean air and be able to get up inside the top 10 right in that high line. So 6-1 on Bet365 as well. I also want to talk about some group bets. All right. Now, we don't do these all the time. I don't think anybody that's been listening to this for a while, I do not give out group bets all the fucking time. It is like a 1 in 4 chance, and chaos can ensue. But I like this number, and I think I might have got chipped on this number. Nope. Okay, we're good. I want to talk about Group E on Bet365. It consists of Josh Berry at plus 250, Daniel Suarez at the same number, Michael McDowell plus 260, and Ricky Stenhouse plus 270. You already know I'm going to the Stenhouse, and we're riding all the way home. Josh Berry hasn't shown me enough to say that, like, Stuart Haas Racing, and the only guy that's really showing us the speed is Noah Gragson. Other than that, everybody else is running about 30th. I think Ricky Stenhouse is going to be mid-teens, as I said. Daniel Suarez, hell to the nah. I don't think he's going to perform well here, and he hasn't done shit all year other than shockingly winning the race in Atlanta, and that was a great race to be at. And no hate to Daniel Suarez. I just don't think you're going to perform well here. The only guy I'm actually truly worried about is Michael McDowell. Front Row Motorsports continuously does these random strategy calls that gets him in the top 10 at the late races. But Michael McDowell does not have a good history here. So Ricky Stenhouse, not the best either, but I feel like he's more consistent. The dirt track guys figure out a way to be able to get up there, and he's a streaky driver. And recently he was driving inside the top 10 at Dover, and then he ends up spinning out and wrecking. And he's been kind of there just recently. All of a sudden you see him and he's there. So Ricky Stenhouse plus 270 in Group E. Group E. E as in Eric. Not Eric with an A, you psychopath. Eric Almirola is a nutbag. Whoever named him that is fucking crazy, and that's sacrilegious to the name Eric. Group E on Bet365. Now, let's not go too far. We have another bet, Bet365. And at this point, I feel like you guys probably think I have some sort of sponsorship. No. Just they always have the best lines. Group C. C as in Christian, my friends. On Bet365. It consists, Kyle Busch is in there at plus 240. Brad Keselowski at the same number. Ty Gibbs plus 275, and Ryan Blaney plus 290. This is going to be a sweaty one. But let me tell you something I know about a boy or a man named Brad Keselowski. All right. Brad Keselowski is a dog. Now, Ryan Blaney, the Fords have been absolute dog shit, but he's performed okay here. Okay. I listened to the stats from Dirty Modo, and he should be hovering around 10th or so, Ryan Blaney, right? Kyle Busch is our biggest factor here. I don't think Ty Gibbs is going to have, I think it's going to take a little while to be able to get his feet back in to being able to finish inside the top 10 or even remotely in the top 5. And this is where I think Brad Keselowski is going to finish. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Kyle Busch is the only guy that I worry about. These old dogs come out to play. And Kyle Busch is one of those guys that's been racing here for a long time. And Brad Keselowski as well. I'm not going to give you Kyle Busch's numbers. You could take either one, personally. But Brad Keselowski has been consistently finishing extremely close to winning races. And I'm tired of him finishing second. I'm tired of him finishing in the top 5 and just being there. Like they said, I think his crew chief ended up saying that they very well could have ended up finishing, or no, it was his spotter or whatever on Tour Bumper Clear said that they probably would have got up to second and Truex would have won the race last week. He's been consistently there. He's been like RFK has been good. RFK was battling for the lead, and wherever Chris Buescher is, Brad Keselowski is, and vice versa. So it's going to be a sweaty one. I think Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski are both going to finish in the top 10. So it's going to come down to who the fuck is going to be there at the end. Does a late race caution happen? And Brad Keselowski seems to be great on long runs. In every single race, all of a sudden he just saves his stuff, and this is the most important, is saving tires on this track. Every single time you come down, it's 4 tires. And Brad Keselowski is one of those guys. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, those are the main guys in the list that are going to be, and Martin Truex are going to be the perfect guys that are going to be saving tires and going to probably end up finishing in the top 5. I've listed all the top 5. Boom, there you go. And Kyle Busch could, on the long runs, the RCR cars just seem to get loose. as you saw the late race run or whatever at Kansas last week, he complains about it getting fucking tight, and then he ends up spinning out. So Brad Keselowski's finishes here are unbelievable, I personally think. In the next gen era, the first race, 34th, get that the hell out of here. Ever since then, 7th, 4th, and 6th, and this is the RFK stuff. In 2022, he ended up finishing 7th. These guys that know how to save their tires are experienced here at Darlington. The lady in black, they're gonna finish inside the top 10. Brad Keselowski, what was it? Group C on Bet365 at plus 240. I like it. Put a full unit on it, baby. That's what I did. And then Brad Keselowski, plus 250 for a top 5. Now, I'm not going to say, take him right away. His qualifying's actually been terrible here. I just want in on it now. And then I put a unit on it at plus 250. And then if it drifts out a little bit more, I'm going to add a little bit more for top 5. He's fucking there, dude. And it's coming. And he's not run out of talent. I think he's going to fucking be there. Even if you want to get extremely ballsy and take a top 3, good God almighty, God bless you for you. And I hope it hits. But top 5, plus 250 on Bet365. Unbelievable. Look out for him to qualify bad and run through the field. So outrights. I want to sit here. This is my favorite part of the week. I don't have any matchups yet. I'll probably, if I take any, you have to follow me on my Action Network. I might end up taking some a little bit later on in the weekend. But because there's been a couple that have caught my eye, but nothing too crazy. I want to take Truex over somebody because I think he's going to do well. But this is my favorite part of the week. Sometimes I like to sit here and I'm talking to my fucking self. But we already know this at this point. But don't hesitate to tweet at me or DM me or whatever and respond to what I'm saying here, all right? I like to talk out some of the outrights and the numbers that we have. Now, Martin Truex, I think on DraftKings right now is 7-1. That's the best number we can find. I think Martin Truex is going to do extremely well here. I think he's going to, I personally think he's going to win the fucking race. It's going to come down to long green flag runs, saving tires, who's there at the end. He almost won last week. He almost won at Richmond. Not obviously a comparable track. I fucking know. I'm not stupid. Okay? I may be stupid, but I'm not stupid with the NASCAR, baby. And I think he's just going to be there. So 7-1 is the best number you can find. I'm going to take that. I know it's early. He could qualify bad. I'm going to take a little bit on it. And if it decides to drift out to an 8 or 9-1, depending on how he qualifies, I'm going to add more to it. I just want to get on the 7-1. The 6.5-1 isn't as enticing, but that good solid plus 700 when you see that, and it's a Martin Truex. Now, we've all heard it on podcasts, and I've listened to some this week. Truex doesn't have the finishes. And I understand that, but he's led extremely a lot of laps, and he's made some dumb fucking mistakes. So it could hurt you in the long run, but Truex is knocking on the door. And if he's got to dump a motherfucker to be able to win the race, he's going to do that, I feel like, at this point. He's not that kind of guy, though. And so I understand that might be kind of far-fetched. But if he's coming down the backstretch and he's on the bottom and, say, Kyle Larson's on top or Denny Hamlin, I think he's going to door slam him and fucking send him up into the wall. And hopefully he can keep all four wheels underneath him, keep it straight, and then drive off across the checkered flag, and then hopefully non-squiggly finish line. So Tyler Reddick 7-1, fuck that, dude. I understand he's good, but I want experience. I know Tyler Reddick has finished extremely well here, but 7-1 is just too short. If I saw an 8 or 9-1, I might sprinkle on it, but 7-1 is just too short. William Byron, 8-1. I would be choosing between, I understand Larson and Denny are going to be there, and they very well, it could be the Larson and Denny show all fucking year, and that's all they do is they win those races. But Larson has been kind of inconsistent. Like he only won, I think, at Darlington last year for the first time, and Denny Hamlin has won here plenty of times, I'm pretty sure. I don't have the stats in front of me. Don't fucking harp on me, you bitches. But William Byron has been here, but the last couple of weeks, he got to really get that monkey off his back. The last couple of weeks have been kind of shitty. But 8-1 is a solid number. See, Bell, 10-1 is not the number you want. The one guy or two guys I'm thinking about is I'm going to take a Brad Keselowski, but as I said, he qualifies bad here for the most part. So we're going to wait. His qualifying this year has been fucking dog poop. So I'll just wait on, and his line should drift out from 16-1 out towards a 20 or 22-1, hopefully. The one guy I really want to talk about for sure is Chase Elliott. I'm going to pull up his stats real quick. I'm not exactly sure how his stats are at Darlington, but we're going to find out real quick. We're going to pull up these notes here real quick, and then we're going to wrap up the podcast, okay? Chase Elliott is also one of those streaky drivers, and he's done pretty well here in the past. Yeah, look at him. In the next-gen car, spring of 2022, first race in the next-gen, 5th. He hasn't also been good at qualifying here. So maybe wait, 16-1. If you could find better, 18-1 or so, I might sprinkle on that. He finished 36th in the fall of 2022, 3rd and 8th last year. So I would be looking at a top 5. If I'm you guys, and I'm a betting man, you know this. A top 5 for a Chase Elliott. He's been hot. We hit one. Was it last week or whatever? Was it last week? No, the week before at Dover, we hit a top 5 just last second. Beautiful, magnifique. I think he's gonna be there. He ended up finishing 3rd or whatever last week. I think he could end up winning this fucking thing. I just want to hear you guys' opinions. Okay, don't be shy. I'm a nice guy. I talk a lot of dumb shit, but I'm a nice guy. I'll respond back. But Chase Elliott 16-1 feels like a good number. But the fact that he's qualified over the last 4 years, starting from 2022 to recent, 34th, 23rd, 21st, and 13th. So gradually getting better. So maybe if I would take a little sprinkle. That's just what I'm thinking. I hope you guys are thinking the same way. If you're a Chase Elliott fan, let me know first before you decide to start giving your freaking opinions on whether to take Chase Elliott or not. But Chase Elliott 16-1 on Bet365 seems like a solid fucking number for a guy that's been pretty damn good recently. And then, I mean, maybe a top 10 of Noah Gragson, but we'll wait and see. Qualifying bets, I usually give you guys these at the very end. I don't know. I don't like the numbers I'm seeing on Bet365. I know BetRivers has them up as well, and Caesars fucking sucks right now. But I'm not sure who to take for qualifying. I think it's gonna be a Larson or a Denny Hamlin or a Truex. So I mean, pick your poison. I don't like Kyle Busch might be able to hit it. Who else? Like a Chase Briscoe could be a crazy long shot, or a Noah Gragson. Like Chase Briscoe's at 100-1 or whatever right now on Bet365. I mean, you could sprinkle on that. But other than that, I think it's going to be a favorite. So choose one of Larson, Denny Hamlin, or Martin Truex. Sprinkle a small amount on it just to have some fun, because Larson could break your heart. It's happened to us, okay? Talk about Bubba Wallace at, what was it, Richmond or whatever for the qualifying. God damn it. So that's been the card. Let me break down the Cup Series real quick. And make sure you go to the Action Network and follow me there. Carson Hocevar, top 10, plus 1,000. Ricky Stenhouse, top 10, plus 600. Brad Keselowski, 2.5-1 on the top 5. Group E winner, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on Bet365. And Group C winner on the same book, Brad K, plus 240. Okay? So those are the bets. We're taking Martin Truex 7-1 as well. That'll be placed later tonight on Thursday night. And then, I hope you guys had a great time listening to this podcast. I appreciate you guys all listening. The new listeners, we got the best numbers that we've had all year. The YouTube's doing great. Shouts out to you guys. We're going to get a new setup going or whatever over the next couple of weeks. So this is just temporary. And then we'll let you know. You're going to hear a wild story on fucking Monday about what has gone on in my life in the last, 72 hours. Okay. So shouts out to you guys. Make sure to like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. Go to HOT PASS Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Okay. Go to @FurlongEric_ once again on X, Instagram, and TikTok. And go to the link tree in the bio as well, and go to the Action Network and follow me there to make sure you see all the cup bets. And keep an eye out. Hit the notification on Twitter and Instagram, so then you guys know when I post my truck bets, my Xfinity bets, and anytime I post on social media, because I'm talking my first come first serve kind of bets, like immediately, like what I've taken on early on in the week. Little tidbits of information on on X or whatever I post throughout the week, and I have a lot of fun with the boys on there. Chris Worm, Skybox NASCAR, Rory Picks, and a bunch of fucking dudes. Derek J. Yoder, shouts out to the boys. And yeah, okay. So make sure to follow me on all social media. All right. Shouts out to you guys. Thanks for listening. And let's have a fucking great weekend at Darlington. And we'll talk to you guys on Monday. See you. Peace.